Yo, what's up, Blackish fam? I hope all is well in the world. We're continuing to check out Ciroc's catalog. This is one that just pulled up called Dusty Roads. I noticed that she has an official video, but a lyric video, and I thought that was pretty cool. Man, some of her work, it's amazing to see an artist such as her, and she only has 23,000 views. It's like, yo, it's our duty. If we see someone in the black community putting out their music at this level, like bringing something so different to the table, but like a level of intelligence as well. Man, we should at least give her the benefit of the doubt to support her work and check it out. But yo, without further ado, let's get right to it. This is Ciroc, Dusty Roads. This is the official lyric video, so let's check it out. I like the hat, girl.
I'ma post-date this letter to a better me and carry on. Trying to open up my personal dialogue to the world beyond.
You know, she started out with the bars, right? What did she just say? She said a postal letter, but like a mail carrier. But she's saying carry on, right? I'm going to post this letter to a better me, all right? I'm writing this to future me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to carry on, but like a post office mail carrier.
And carry on, trying to open up my personal dialogue to the world beyond. Maybe if we could have a heart-to-heart, I donate my tragic opera to the chats. Do y'all see them?
You know, it looks like she has her own a breakdown of some of this. She said, if I can completely open up my pain, and how do you get rid of that? She said, you know, if I can completely, the world sees I'm one of the best in the game. Okay. Yeah, your tragic opera, right? You think of operas as tragic, that, right? And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Crying is like, what is going on here? This is freakishly weird. But she says, you'll see I'm the paragon. That ties into what she's saying on the bottom, that you guys would see that I'm one of the best. When you say I'm the paragon, you're talking about what some would say a model of excellence, like the perfect example.
The paragon. Maya told y'all if they tell you who they is, believe them.
Yeah, Maya Angelou said that. That's one of her favorite quotes, and she has it here below. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time, right? If you borrow somebody money and they come to you with that sad story, don't give the money again. You know they're just that type of mofo, right? Okay, I could put you in the appropriate category. Move on, right?
Well, I'm easily the best to ever do it from my region. Now I need them streams to reflect all this fluid I'm releasing.
You know, all these music streams, right? Everything's digital now. And when someone plays your music, it's considered streaming, right? You're streaming this video now. She's like, yo, I need these streams to reflect all this fluid I'm releasing. But fluid, you think of water running into a stream, right? Or a river or a pond. But a stream of water, that's what the fluid is. Sick.
Cause every time I flow, I add another unit to my legions. I'm 5'3", very likely I'm eclipsing every star.
Woo! She's a small chick, right? 5'3". Right, 60 times 12 is what? 60 times 12 is 70. 60 times 2. Doesn't matter. I was going to calculate her inches, but oh, that would be it, right? 5 feet. She's 5 feet times 12. 5 times 12 is 60. So I'm like, oh, she's only 63 inches, right? She's a small person. She's almost a foot shorter than me. But she said, I'm still likely to eclipse every star, right? When you think of an eclipse, it's something that's partially shaded. That reminds me of Eminem when he came out on Machine Gun Kelly, right? He said, if you were 6'3", you'd still look up to me, right? As long as I'm shady, you're going to live in my shadow. Yo.
That you can ID with the naked eye, I'm telescopic, magnify your psyche and your sight. See, I'm inviting y'all to Skype because I'm virtually the dopest ever called the nudist. Fight me, homie.
That's what they say in the streets, right? When you see someone wants to challenge you, just like Wakanda. Okay, you want the title, then you gotta fight me. You gotta dethrone me, right? And people when they talk smack are like, "Yo, I'm the best to do it. Try me, bro." Fight me. Fuck around and find out, right?
Fluid I'm releasing, cause every time I flow, I add another unit to my legions. I'm 5'3".
You know, and I see that below. I would have quite missed it.
I need them streams to reflect all this fluid I'm releasing, cause every time I flow, I add another unit to
my legions, right? When you think of the legions, you talk about like an army, right?
my legions. I'm 5'3". Very likely I'm eclipsing every star that you can ID. With the naked eye, I'm telescopic, magnify your psyche and your sight. See, I'm inviting y'all to Skype me, cause I'm virtually the dopest ever called the nudist. Fight me, homie. I learned this rap out of survival, scratching too.
You know, in the streets, right? Like in Chicago, it's scrapping, right? When you go mess around and just get into it with someone. She said, "Yo, like I learned how to fight. That it was necessary for my survival, right? Scratching tooth and nail. They normally use that term when you're fighting for your life, right? You're losing everything. If you're scratching tooth and nail, it's like when you put your nails into the floorboards and somebody's dragging you away, and you're holding on so much that your nails are dug into that's scratching, right? With tooth and nail.
Tooth and nail. That's why my sharpest proclamations got a ruthless feel.
Yo, when you think of proclamations, right? It's like a statement, if you would. But she's saying like, yo, that's why everything I say.
Scratching tooth and nail. That's why my sharpest proclamations got a ruthless feel. Seemed like ages since I thought the world was rooting for me, but
ooh, you know, when you're young and naive, right? You think that if you do good or you move a certain way, that things would happen for you. And she's saying, you know, it seems like ages since I thought that the world was rooting for me. When you get older, you start to realize how many haters there are and how many people don't want you to succeed. Why? Because they haven't, right? Because they haven't. They're not on that level yet. They don't want you to be, right? They want you to be winning just as long as you're not outrunning them, right?
For me, but them blue boys still got them Rugers programmed to shoot to kill. Working twice as hard to get half as far cause your skin tone. Imagine that double leg.
Yo, and you know, one would argue, you know, you have to work twice as hard because you're a person of color, right? You're mocha, you're yellow, you're just a person that has you're a little darker than most, right? They're saying you have to work twice as hard. And I would argue as a woman, you have to work even further because things have gotten a little bit better in the workplace. I say a little bit better since what, right? But when it comes to men, you're going to in the workplace and people of color moving up that chain of command. But it becomes even harder when you're a woman, and now you have to prove that you're as intellectual and well-spoken as a man, but you're still from a position of a person of color, and you're fighting two fights, right? Yo, that's just sick. And of course, right here, those blue boys, right? We're talking about the police, their program, right? Ruger is a gun.
No shoot to kill, working twice as hard to get half as far cause your skin tone. Imagine adding double X's on top of the syndrome.
Okay. Yeah, she's basically saying what I just said, right?
Either they dismiss you or try to own what you issue. But it's my freedom, they got the people subscribing to my opinion.
Oh, ooh! Think about that. That's kind of what we're trying to do here, right? It's our freedom of speech, right? Our First Amendment that has us really talking about, yo, what is being taught to our kids, and why aren't you teaching real Black history, right? Why aren't you teaching us where we come from? And why we're here, and how we've been treated since we were brought here. Why isn't that part of your curriculum? Well, because of freedom of speech, we have a channel here, Blackish University, Modern Day Griots. We have a platform. Now we got people subscribing and understanding more about our opinions, our statements, and we're researching things together, and we're going through good music as well, right?
It's my freedom, they got the people subscribing to my opinions. So I treat every breath like I just barely cheated death's grip. And welcome every train of thought approach me like a death wish. My objective is to catch your ear and snare you with my text till I can lead you in the rest of hip-hop's weary on an exodus.
Ooh. Yo, listen to that beat, too.
I never go where they go.
Yo, is that her singing?
I don't give them what they want.
I don't think I've ever heard her
Just
sing.
because they say so. Don't mean to stress it. I hope that you're getting the point of the message from me.
Yeah, got it. We're breaking it down.
I just wanna be me. See, I'm self-made with no force.
I'm making a little joke about the controversy with Kylie Jenner was ridiculously touted as a self-made billionaire in Forbes. Yeah, that's so funny because that's true, right? Kylie Jenner is this billionaire, and you say, yo, self-made? One would argue that the very first Kardashian might have been self-made, but even then, her daddy was a high-profile lawyer, right? On the O.J. Simpson case. Even her stepfather, right? Or she's a Jenner. Her father was a well-off person. And then, of course, Kim Kardashian and the fame and the hype around her name also made Kylie Jenner famous and, of course, promoted their brand. So, yeah, you're a billionaire. We're not taking anything from you. But to call yourself self-made is a slap in the face of someone who invents a product and starts from the ground up. You're kind of missing the struggle portion of your success because you probably haven't had to struggle much because you had something to fall back on.
I just wanna be me. See, I'm self-made with no Forbes list. Get investment tips on the poor slips. Told me walk on them out there nothing if you're in a. I got that message from me. I just wanna be me. See, I'm self-made with no Forbes list. Get investment.
Some of the financially poorest people were richer than, oh, yeah. Like they say that you can't, not money, how do you define success? The old flex used to be things, right? Cadillacs, rims, depends on your place in life, right? Jordans, a collection of Jordans. But when you get more money or more things, you start to realize the value, and it's not in things, right? You can have a lot of value in love and family and trust and your name, right? Put some respect on my name, right? Your name and your generations know who you are, and you're rich in that. So she's saying, I got investment tips from the poorest lips, right? Know about who you are, educate yourself, build, invest in yourself. And she says, but some of the financially poorest people were richest in both spiritual and conventional wisdom. Sick.
The tips on the poor slips told me walk on them out there nothing if your inner work ain't from the source.
Yo, if your inner work isn't from the source, if you don't know who you are, it's very hard to know where you're going. She said, it's why my stockpile got them hostile. Some people will try their hardest to steal your joy and diminish the power they see in you, all because they haven't found it in themselves. And I think that also ties into when she says, it seems like ages since I thought that everybody was rooting for my success, right? And we just talked about the haters. People try to hold you down, and they got that face. Like I used to, I like my SUVs. I'm a big boy. I used to have the 2016 Cadillac Escalade ESV, the long body, right? And I'd pull up, and I got my beard going. I always got my hair cut, and some days I'm just sitting there in the Escalade, got my music going. And you just see somebody pull up to you in his little Toyota Camry, and he just got the shit face, right? What does Cat Williams say? Like, everything about you makes them sick. It's like, ooh, I see you over there hating, wishing you knew what I did for a living, wishing you know how I came up on this Escalade, right? How I live in these suburbs, how I'm so tall, dark, and handsome, right? Look at you. I see you over there with your hating ass, with your looking ass, bro.
Since one of my stockpiles got them hostile, trying to track down the coordinates. But they can never find the pamphlets to get attached from it like a cordless. To all my early work is full of all verses, no choruses. I just want to make it down to earth with a bow script and no fluorescence. So on the stage, got a pair of chucks to...
What's she saying there? Yo, she's talking, spitting knowledge right there, right? And she said, unless they can detach from it like a cordless. Once you fully realize the grip of control, you're able to get to you're able to free the flow right into your life. Some would argue, and I've heard this before, I wish I knew where the original quote was from, but they say there's two types of hypnosis, right? There's where you're intentionally, you're voluntarily committing yourself to being hypnotized. But one would argue that the other type happens and it's outside of your control because you don't even know that you're being fed this information. Once you realize that, yo, these history books, man, these history books have been bullshitting me. This stuff might never have happened, right? Who's controlling the narrative of what's in that book? Why are all these books so similar, even though they were written in yesteryear? Why are they so afraid of highlighting new information? Why is it when an archaeologist makes an important discovery that makes you question how long man has been on Earth, right? It makes you question our existence. It's very hard to publish those findings. Why is it that people don't want to share new information? And once you realize that, you just start to view the world a bit. Some people call it an awakening, right? An enlightenment. Some people in urban terms would say woke, right? It's just understanding your place in the world and your history, and then looking around like, man, y'all motherfuckers ain't shit. Y'all been lying to me my whole life. I don't even know a lot about my own history, and you're trying to feed me your history so I can be a servant to your whatever, right? That's deep.
Just to get detached from it like a chorus. To all my early work is full of all verse.
All my early work is full of all verses, no choruses, right? The chorus is that middle portion, not middle, but it's after your rhyme, right? It's the hook, right? As they call it. It's Drake coming on, right? Or somebody like, that's it, no work, full verses, no courses. Yeah. And then you get back to rhyming, right? I hope y'all like my little verse there.
No courses. I just want to make it down to earth with a bow script and no flourishes.
That's why my stash got a pair of Chucks. Obviously, we all know Chuck Taylors. I hope you know, right? They're the Converse, right? But she's saying I'm using it as a metaphor for being grounded, while also referencing major musical influences in my life. So she's saying, Public Enemy here. And Father Go-Go, Chuck Berry. Yeah, and she references Go-Go in another one that we just did, right? Where she's also from D.C., right? Where that's where the Go-Go movement was. So, it's sick that she references these things, and it's sick that I wonder if she has these lyrics here and these breakdowns to reference, because it can be tough following her. Like, you hear, that's why my stash got a pair of Chucks. Yeah, I know what Chuck Taylors are, but I wouldn't have immediately thought about, Public Enemy. I just wouldn't have went there unless there's something in the next bar, and then the little light bulb goes off. But I love how intellectual she is in her references and the bars and the flow, right? She's just sick with it.
She got a pair of Chucks, there's G's, Browns, no Norris's.
She said no Norris's, right? That's also a Chuck Norris, a Chuck reference.
Pair of Chucks, there's G's, Browns, no Norris's. Cause deep down got strong roots, never need critics with the shorts. The short the sky is aqua, they finna offer me the accolade.
The shore as the sky is blue, right? It's aqua blue. They're gonna offer me their accolades, right? Or they're trying to reward me for what I'm doing.
Coach for the goofies like a preteen in that awkward phase. Running mouth clear and go when they just kids that ain't been properly raised. They ain't seen nothing else since Black Thought Flex and left us stunned for that.
Yo, Black Thought. Right? Black Thought left us all stunned when he had that freestyle, a Funkmaster Flex freestyle. We got it down there in the playlist and we do a lyrical breakdown. Unfortunately, I heard it before and I love it, so I understand it. I know what's coming, so it's not quite a reaction. It's more a review, but man, Black Thought is one of those people. If you just have heard that, do it some justice and hear the lyrical breakdown. Because just like Ciroc, I think a lot of people miss his references, right? When he says things like, back in the day when record players were something you would keep in your home, and photos with sepia tone, or when he talks about, the Pan-African flag, right, or plasma. He references Morgan Freeman, but he also references, there's just a lot of cultural references there that you have to understand. Not that you wouldn't, but it just takes more than one listen, just sick with it. Let's run it back a few seconds here.
Running mouth clear and go when they just kids that ain't been properly raised. They ain't seen nothing else since Black Thought Flex and left us stunned for days. Like Empress Minute, they'll never.
Whoa, now she's getting into the history. This is where it starts getting deep and where you have to understand who she's referencing Empress Menen was someone who was fighting for women's rights in Ethiopia. I wouldn't be surprised if she's Ethiopian. But oh yeah, she has it right here. As a consort of the Ethiopian Empire, Ethiopia is regarded as one or two of the two African countries that has never been colonized. Yeah, and she's also saying they'll never conquer my dominion, right? Now you ask, what is that, right? It's like conquer your control. One would argue your control as a nation, if you would, in this reference. But she's saying like, yo, I'll never be conquered, right? I control my outcome and who I am.
Conquer my dominion. I'm cut from a different cloth. Your Aeropostale, I'm selfish denim. Don't make them like they used to.
Yo, this is such a sick reference, and I only got it. I didn't read what she wrote yet, but years ago, I bought it was basically a resale shop, like a higher end thrift store with like cooler stuff. I wanted to rent the space and have the ability for the local community to do like open mic nights and artists can display their work, but it was actually a thrift shop. And these guys used to come in and they would just go through all the jeans and just quickly, and they were looking at the bottoms. And he said, hey, do you have any selvage? And I had never heard the term before. And I'm like, man, what exactly is the selvage? Well, the technical term, it's an edge on a woven piece of fabric that happens during manufacturing that prevents it from unraveling. And I'm like, I don't get that. I wouldn't even know what I'm looking for. And I guess when you look in older blue jeans, there's jeans that are really valuable and highly sought after online if they're considered salvage. I believe it means it's like the end of the stitching or so. It's like this. It means it's a better quality product, right? And so what she's saying there is, I'm cut from a different cloth. Y'all just Aeropostale, right? That's an Aeropostale at every mall. Every college kid at one point was wearing something Aeropostale. They knew nothing about it, but it was just a brand that was just posted and stamped on everything, right? Like kind of like Abercrombie and Finch, but it was like a lower class version of that, more attainable, right? But she's like, yo, I'm different. I'm hard to find. I'm unique, and I'm valuable, right? Let's just see if she's Aeropostale is known for selling cheap denim. Well, salvage denim woven traditionally is known for its high quality construction and higher market value. Yeah. That's just sick. And I would not have gotten the reference had I not owned a thrift store yesteryear. But sick with it.
Style them selfish denim. Don't make them like they used to. I'm a rarity, value ascending, and the appreciation through the roof in every crowd that I've ever been in. At the end of it all, I'm trying to find Nirvana through these releases. If it's something in the way the whole world is to love you, so you can live in pieces. Make you go hard with your soft spots and the love God like a priest. This is Cyrock, signing off for the firmament. I never go where they go. Wanna take me down the wrong road.
No, she can
I don't give them what they want, just because they say so. Don't mean to stress it. I hope that you're getting the point of the message from me.
Yeah, we got it.
I just wanna be. I never go where they go. Wanna take me down the wrong road.
Yeah.
I don't give them what they want, just because they say so. Don't mean to stress it. I hope that you're getting the point of the message from me. I just wanna be me.
Yo, that's sick. That's sick. We've checked out again with Ciroc. I haven't been disappointed yet, right? Just like with Toby Nwigwe, we're gonna start going over Black Thought as well in more detail, some of his catalog. But if you're a fan of these intellectual breakdowns, don't forget to support the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be breaking down all of the greats, right? If somebody's bringing something different to the table, education, entertainment, Black history, this is where it all comes together and we can get the conversation going. Thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel.